only come from where they've been. Hello everybody, it's Tom here from Code. I hope you're well. We are going to talk about something that may seem a little contradictory if you like, but what I'm getting at here is people can only come from what experience they've had. They can only come from where they've been. It's a bit of a strange title, but it's fact. And let me explain how I feel that is the case. Everybody in life will have their life experiences. They'll have things that have shaped them, things that have happened to them. They'll have their own take on things, their own experience. They will say, for me it was like this, and then another person will have a completely different experience. They will also be the facts of what actually, how it is, or what it would be like. But the fact of the matter is, in certain situations in life, we'll come to a stage where we are of three sort of categories. We can either sympathise, empathise, or be in terms of apathy. Okay, so to sympathise is like having some sort of understanding of what they're going through, and to be feel for that person. Empathise is more sort of that person being, having more sort of emotional attachment to that. And apathy is just I don't get it, but okay, basically. So I think we hear sometimes when people are trying to give us advice, or you're trying to speak to somebody, that someone will go, yeah, I understand, I know where you're coming from, How true is it really that we do that? Do we just automatically default to being caring, which is not a bad thing, but not really fully grasping why somebody's feeling the way they are? Because let you tell me, there's been plenty of times in my life when someone's told me about a situation, I've tried to offer a lending ear, and I simply cannot relate because I've not been through it. I've not been through it. So how can I give somebody solid advice? How can I sympathise or empathise with them? I can't. I can listen. I can try and give you my take on it. But can I speak from experience and give you probably the valid point you want? Probably not. And maybe that's not what some people want to know or want to hear, but it's a fact. You can't talk from an experience you've not had. You can't. It'd be foolish to think that you can. It's impossible. So just be wary when you're speaking to somebody, particularly a sensitive subject. If it's something to do with like somebody's health or something like that, have you suffered the way they have with that health issue? If the answer is no, can you really say sympathetically you understand it? No. Can you honestly draw on what you've experienced yourself and lend an ear that they want, perhaps? Maybe not. I mean, it's always good to listen and to hear somebody out and to offer support where you can, even if it's just they need to vent, let them vent. Maybe that's the best sometimes. But we can't sit here and say we've gone through it when we haven't, and we simply can't say we understand when perhaps we don't understand. It's very difficult sometimes to be trying to put yourself in another person's shoes when trying to imagine what it's like. Because trying to imagine what it's like is one thing, but how is it? How would you react to being in that situation? How do you know how you'd react? You don't know how you'd react. You can only try and imagine what you'd react like, but in the situation and the time of it, what emotions would come up? What feelings would you have? How would you react? You don't know. It's always very careful. I'm always very, very careful when somebody tells me about a situation and asks for my advice, my honest opinion. I try very hard to gauge their feelings and then maybe think how I would feel and try and put myself in their shoes, etc. But it's very hard if you've not been through it. Very, very hard. And even if you mean well by saying, oh yeah, I understand, the fact is we probably don't. And you shouldn't be offended if that other person says you don't get it, because we probably don't get it as much as we would like to think we do. What we get is how we think we'd feel and how we possibly would react. It's not a true reflection, because if you've not been through it, you can't really come from that experience of saying you have, and therefore give any sort of insight. That's just it. And that's a bit, again, a bit cut and dry by me today, but that's kind of it. That's how I feel with it, guys. Third and final video of the week. I want to say thank you all ever so much for listening. Really appreciate your time and energy spent here on my channel. Thank you kindly. Third video of 3. Put down in the comment section below. Have you ever been put on the spot, perhaps by a friend or a family member or somebody, about a situation? They've asked you what your thoughts are, and you can honestly say you have no idea what they're feeling. You can't really, generally, hand on heart, say, I empathise, I sympathise, because really you don't know. You don't know how it feels. Therefore, you have to sort of like try and imagine what it would be like, and then you think, well, am I covering all bases here? Am I best placed? Probably not. Remember to hit that subscribe button down below, and please consider a thumbs up and a like, and if you could, please hit that bell sign so you could subscribe to my channel so you know my next content's out. But until then, I want to say thank you all ever so much, as always. Until next time, alright? Please take care of yourselves, and bye for now.